The direction of parabola in the parabolic path is decided by the charge particles nature, the charge on the particle. If it's a negative charge, it will go towards the positive direction. If it's a positive charge, it will go towards negative direction, like this. Okay, next question. What will be the motion of a charged particle when it is placed in a electric field, in an electric field at some angle theta, which is other than 0, 90, 180, 270 case? Very good, Deveshri. So this was projectile motion, not helical. Helical is for magnetic. So this is projectile path. Again, it's a parabola itself, but now it will look like a projectile in case of gravitation, right? So gravitational motion के analogy वाला projectile motion होगा. Very good, everyone. Okay, now let's come to the magnetic field. Now, what happens when a charged particle is kept in a perpendicular magnetic field? What will be the motion of a charged particle if it is kept in a perpendicular magnetic field? Circular. Very good. Very good, everyone. Yes. Yes. So I can see now everyone is answering. Very good. That one. So motion will be circular. What about the direction of the circle? Clockwise, anti-clockwise. How it will be decided? So I told you, you have to remember only one analogy, that electron moving in the direction in which you are writing, okay, that is from suppose left to right we write now, and if the magnetic field is cross, then electron goes down clockwise. Yes, so in this way you can remember. मैंने आपको एक लॉ पढ़ाया था, अगर आपको याद होगा तो, फ्लेमिंग्स लेफ्ट हैंड रूल वगैरह याद है, व्हेन वी हैव सीन द हॉल इफेक्ट, so that can also be remembered. Fleming's left-hand rule is to remember the direction of charged particle in perpendicular magnetic field. What is that rule? That if your thumb is indicating the direction of magnetic field, if your four fingers are indicating the motion of the charge, then it's a positive charge considered. Then the direction in which your fingers can be curved is considered as the resultant, I can say, uh, direction of charged particle because of the magnetic field. Okay. Again, there is one concept of Lorentz force. A force exerted or force experienced by a charged particle is called as Lorentz force. Huh? Always remember. Force experienced by a charged particle in magnetic field is Lorentz force. Okay. So next question, what will be the motion of a charged particle if it is being placed in a magnetic field at some angle other than 0, 90, 180? Helical, okay. What you call that helical path, another name of that helical path? How will you explain a helical path? How many motions are associated in a helical path? Two motions, okay. Which two motions can we can say associated with a helical path? Okay, now I am not going to read the answers of Nunali. She is very fast and prompt, but I want everyone should be like that. चलिए बताइए बाकी लोग, कौन से दो मोशंस होते हैं हेलिकल पाथ में? मोशंस पता है ना सबको? मोशंस अलग अलग तरह के होते हैं, ट्रांसलेशनल, रोटेशनल, है ना, ऑसिलेशनल. So in helical path, the particle is covering two types of motions. So what are those? Not exactly oscillational. Okay, yes, Vaishnavi. Straight and circular. Okay, together. Very good. So it's not oscillational. It's rotational and translational. Okay. Yes, it's straight and circular. So what is happening? The particle is covering a circular path, but each time it is moving one step ahead of its original position. So that's translational and rotational motion together it is covering. Okay. So I hope you have understood all the six paths which are taught till now. Have you? So we have covered almost six paths. Okay. Three in electric field, three in magnetic field, and you should be able to describe the motion of a charged particle in those six paths. Now we are going to see another path, and that is called as the motion of an electron in cross field configuration. Okay. Now what is cross field configuration? Here you are going to take the electric field and magnetic field together such that the electric field and the magnetic field and the charged particle all will be perpendicular to each other. So it's kind of a 3D case. Means suppose this is the motion of the particle, then this is the electric field, and cross is the magnetic field, means which is perpendicular to the screen, going inside the screen. Okay, so it's a three-dimensional diagram. All the three things are perpendicular to each other, and it's called cross field configuration. Basically, cross field, cross indicates cross कैसे दिखाया जाता है? Now, if I take annotation over here, yes, how is the cross shown? Cross shown something like this. So what is the particular thing about cross is the two lines are always perpendicular to each other. That is the particular thing about cross. Okay. So cross field configuration means, yes, 90 degree means perpendicular to each other. That if this is the direction of your motion, then the next direction will represent suppose your electric field, and the third direction which is perpendicular to both of this. Suppose ये जो पेपर से बाहर आने वाला है, ये आपकी स्क्रीन से बाहर आने वाला है, ये ऐसे दिखाती हूँ मैं वेक्टर. तो ये हो गया क्रॉस फील्ड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. तो ये है B, ये है E, और ये है आपका वेलोसिटी ऑफ पार्टिकल v. ऑफ कोर्स दिस इज अ चार्ज पार्टिकल. ओके, सो ये जो b है इट इज़ एक्चुअली परपेंडिकुलर टू दिस स्क्रीन विच यू आर लुकिंग एट. सो परपेंडिकुलर टू द स्क्रीन या परपेंडिकुलर टू द पेपर आर ऑफ टू काइंड्स. पता है ना सबको, क्रॉस एंड डॉट याद है सबको, मैंने बताया था हाउ क्रॉस एंड डॉट्स आर. रिमेंबर, क्रॉस मीन्स परपेंडिकुलर टू द पेपर गोइंग इनसाइड द पेपर, and dot means perpendicular to the paper coming outside the paper. Yes. तो ये परपेंडिकुलर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन है जिसमें तीनों चीज़ें एक दूसरे के साथ परपेंडिकुलर है. ओके. नो व्हाट विल हैपन इन सच सिचुएशन. सो ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या होगा? सो दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी नाउ. सो लेट अस क्लियर दिस. ओके. Now this is called cross field configuration. So here again we are taking electric field. Electric field we are creating with the help of two plates. One is positive, one is negative. Okay. The direction of electric forces lines are always from positive plate to negative plate. So this is direction of E. Okay. ये है direction of E. Now, suppose I introduce the charge from this source. So it's a positive charge going in this direction. So this is perpendicular to the direction of E. And then I have applied the magnet. Suppose north pole is I am keeping in front of my screen, and south pole is at the back of the screen. So the lines of magnetic forces will be from north to south. So that is cross lines. Okay. So magnetic field will be perpendicular to both of these, the charge motion and the electric field. So this is the cross field configuration. And now what will happen to this charge? अब ये charge कहाँ जाएगा? Can anyone tell me कि ये charge अब कहाँ जाएगा? उसके ऊपर हमने इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी लगाई है, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड भी लगाई है. तो अब इस चार्ज ने कहाँ जाना चाहिए? चलो बताओ. चलो एक एक करके देखते हैं. सपोज अगर मैग्नेटिक फील्ड नहीं होता, ये क्रॉसेस हमने बंद कर दिए, तो ये चार्ज कहाँ जाएगा? ये पॉजिटिव चार्ज है और ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है. दिस इज पॉजिटिव, दिस इज नेगेटिव. सो वेयर दिस चार्ज विल मूव एंड इन व्हाट वे? If there is no magnetic field, only electric field is there, then where this charge will go? Following which kind of a path? Yes, very good. Towards negative plate and following a parabolic path. So this charge will move something like this. Sorry. It's very difficult. Huh. So this charge will move something like this towards the negative plate following a parabolic path. Okay. Now suppose electric field is turned off and we are now making the magnetic field on. सपोज हमने अब इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड बंद कर दिया और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड शुरू कर दिया, तो अब चार्ज कहाँ जाएगा? पॉजिटिव चार्ज क्रॉस वाली फील्ड में क्लॉकवाइज जाता है या काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज जाता है? क्योंकि ये परपेंडिकुलर है. Now suppose electric field is turned off and we have only put the magnetic field which is a cross on the charge. So these crosses are perpendicular in direction of the charge. So where the charge will go? Okay, very good Om. It will go in clockwise direction. No, sorry, not clockwise. Clockwise में इलेक्ट्रॉन जाता है क्रॉस फील्ड में. It will go in yes upward direction, that is counter clockwise. Upward मतलब ये ऐसे घूमेगा और उसका मोशन कैसे रहेगा? That we call it circular motion. So the circular path में ये ऊपर की तरफ जाएगा, पर यहाँ पे फील्ड खत्म हो गया तो पूरा सर्कल नहीं हो पाएगा, तो ये यहाँ से यहाँ डिफ्लेक्ट हो गया. So ये हो गया ड्यू टू इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड ये, और ये हो गया ड्यू टू मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड मतलब इसके ऊपर क्या काम कर रहा है? फोर्स ड्यू टू इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड गिवन बाय E into E and force due to magnetic field given by EVB. Okay, this is magnetic field equation for FL equal to, and this is electric field equation FE equal to. Okay, now what we are intending is we are turning on both the fields together. अब हमने इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी ऑन कर दिया और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड भी ऑन कर दिया साथ में, तो क्या होगा? What will happen? Can anyone guess what will happen now? Okay, they will go straight. ठीक है, पर स्ट्रेट कब जाएगा? कौन सी कंडीशन में स्ट्रेट जाएगा? कोई भी वैल्यू रहे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का तो स्ट्रेट जाएगा क्या? क्या होना चाहिए तब वो स्ट्रेट जाएगा? यस यस वेरी गुड. Then electric field and magnetic field will balance each other. Yes, when both the forces will balance each other. Yes, very good every one of you. Now just hold on. Hello. हाँ. हाँ. झाला बरं. झाला बरं. हो. Yes. So when these two forces will balance each other, that is force due to electric field Fe is equal to force due to मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. मैग्नेटिक फील्ड वाले फोर्स को FL कहा जाता है, लॉरेंस फोर्स. देन द चार्ज विल मूव स्ट्रेट. अब उसके ऊपर किसी भी फील्ड का काम नहीं करेगा क्योंकि एक फील्ड का मोशन दूसरे फील्ड के मोशन को कैंसिल करेगा. ओके, द मोशन कॉज ड्यू टू वन फील्ड will get cancelled by the motion caused by the other field. Okay, so Fe should be equal to FL. Now we have equation of Fe is E into E. We have equation of FL is this EVB. So I can equate these two. ये मैंने यहाँ पे लाके रख दिया since I have this provision. तब क्या हो गया? Now what will happen? This E can be cancelled. So ये है velocity of the charge which is moving straight, and it can be given by simple equation of E by B. So if anyone asks you which charges will go straight, so the charges which will have the velocity V equal to E by B value, electric field intensity upon magnetic field induction. So the charges which are having the values of E by B will move straight. अब इनसे जिसका वेलोसिटी कम है, what will happen to the charges which are having velocity v dash which is sorry less than V, or what will happen to the charges which is having velocity V double dash which is greater than V? What will happen to such charges? ऐसे charges के साथ क्या होगा? कोई बता सकता है? V वो वाले charges हैं जो E by B की value रखते हैं जो straight निकल जाएंगे. So what will happen to the charges which are having the values V dash and V double dash which is less than V or greater than V? Come on, tell me. What will happen to the charges which are having velocity less than V equal to E by B? Yes, so they will move in the direction of their dominating force. अब जिस भी फोर्स में वो डोमिनेट हो रहे हैं, ओके, द फोर्स विच इज डोमिनेटिंग देम, that will be exerting the effect on that charge. Yes. So how will you identify that for less velocity which force is dominating and for more velocity which force is dominating? So let me tell you, in the equation of the forces, velocity comes in the equation of magnetic field. Electric field is free from the velocity of particle, but magnetic field depends upon the velocity of particle. So, if the velocity of particle is more, so this EVB value will be more. So, magnetic field will dominate. Okay? जस्ट इमेजिन करो कि ये एक तराजू है, ठीक है, जिसमें हमने दो पैन में दो चीज़ें रखी है, एक साइड में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड रखी है ई इंटू ई, और एक साइड में मैग्नेटिक फील्ड रखी है ई वी वी. For V equal to E by B, both the charges will be balanced and both the pans will maintain the same height. Now, sorry, for V greater than this V equal to E by B, this V will be more, so this EV will be more, so this pan will go down. So that means it will have more force. So this will be dominating and hence the particles will move in the direction of magnetic field. So they will move in the upward direction. Okay, here in this case. And when V equal to, मुझे मत दो sir. When V is less than this V, then what will happen? This V will be lesser and hence this value will go down. So automatically this value will dominate and hence the particle will move in the direction of electric field. So they will move towards this. Got it everyone?
मैं ये क्वेश्चन भी आया था, आइटम कुछ और लगेंगे इसमें. देख लो अभी
स्टेपलर वेपलर
ना.
स्टेपलर वेपलर नहीं लिखा,
नहीं.
फिर हो गया.
हो गया ना.
रिम
या एक और लो.
दो. Yes, got it everyone? So this is the situation. Okay. So ये हो गया क्रॉस फील्ड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन और इसी को कहते हैं वेलोसिटी सिलेक्टर. In many of the cases where you want to select particular electrons या particular charged particles which are having a particular velocity, या in many of the cases you want to have a filter जहाँ पे चार्ज पार्टिकल एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में निकल जाए और बाकी डायरेक्शन में जाने वाले चार्ज पार्टिकल एब्जॉर्ब हो जाए, तो वहाँ पे ये वेलोसिटी फिल्टर लगाया जाता है जिसको क्रॉस फील्ड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन भी कहते हैं. So have you understood everyone this velocity filter concept? Okay. तो ये कैसे ऑपरेट होगा? जैसे सपोज करो यहाँ पे मेरा एक ऐसा मैकेनिज्म है कि मैं चाहती हूँ कि यहाँ से पार्टिकल्स निकले, मे बी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. सो इस पोजीशन में मैं वेलोसिटी फिल्टर लगाऊंगी. आई विल हैव टू प्लेट्स, ठीक है, पॉजिटिव निगेटिव वगैरह. तो सपोज ये पॉजिटिव, ये निगेटिव. सपोज आई एम हैविंग इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, तो यहाँ से मैंने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स डाले हैं. So now for electric field, the electrons will move towards positive plate. Now I want to apply the magnetic field which will make these electrons to move towards opposite direction. So now I need to check कि मुझे cross apply करना है या dot apply करना है. Okay, so वो कैसे check करेंगे? With Fleming's rule. So suppose if I apply the magnetic field here in suppose cross direction, then the electrons will move here. Okay, so what will happen? The magnetic field, if I apply in the, now I want them to move like this ना. हाँ, ये है चार्ज पार्टिकल, तो आपके 4 फिंगर्स वैसे पकड़ो और फिर अगर मैंने डॉट लगाया तो 4 फिंगर्स इधर कर्व हो रहे हैं, सो नॉट यूज। हाँ, क्रॉस लगाया तो इधर कर्व हो रहे हैं, सो येस, सो आई विल अप्लाई क्रॉस। ये जो डायरेक्शन है इसमें अपने 4 फिंगर्स रखो, तो थंब उल्टे साइड में आता है, मतलब अंदर के साइड में आता है स्क्रीन के, सो दिस विल मूव हियर, सो द मैग्नेटिक फील्ड विल कॉज देम टू मूव हियर, द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड विल कॉज देम टू मूव हियर, एंड देन व्हेन वी सिलेक्ट v equal to e by b, then those electrons will move straight and they will pass through this slit. So this is velocity selector. It is used in many instruments like mass spectrograms, where you want to differentiate the particles with their masses but not with their velocity. So you have to keep their velocity also constant. सो जो आइसोटोप्स वगैरह फाइंड आउट किए जाते हैं, दैट इज़ विद द हेल्प ऑफ मास स्पेक्ट्रोग्राम्स। ओके, जैसे ब्रेन ब्रिज मास स्पेक्ट्रोग्राम हो गया। सो उसमें सबसे पहला जो यूनिट होता है वो होता है वेलोसिटी सिलेक्टर, क्योंकि उसमें कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी वाले सभी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को एक साथ भेजा जाता है, या सभी चार्ज पार्टिकल्स जैसे आयंस हैं जिनका हमको मासेस डिटरमाइन करना है, दैट दे हैव सेम एटॉमिक नंबर डिफरेंट एटॉमिक मास नंबर, सो देयर चार्जेस विल बी सेम atomic charges but their masses will be different, so we make their velocity also same, then they will only be differentiated with the help of their masses. Okay, so that is the concept. So have you understood everyone the concept of cross field configuration and its use as a velocity selector? समझा क्या सबको? Yes. So now we shall move ahead to the next thing. Now we are moving towards the next part of the chapter. So we have seen so far was electron ballistics, and now we are going to see the next part, and that is called electron optics. Okay, so electron optics. Uh, Now, why it is called electron optics? Electron optics is the analogy of electron wave to that of the light wave. That's why we call it electron optics. Okay? जैसे लाइट वेव बिहेव करती है वैसे ही इलेक्ट्रॉन वेव बिहेव करती है, so that is electron optics concept. So like light wave is having I can say refraction, bending of path, change of path. Okay, so that's all things are followed by electron wave. Okay, the only thing is light is guided by medium, so light is having change in its velocity or path when it is encountered with different media, and for electron it will be guided by the different potentials. Okay, the electrons wave or maybe particle is affected by potentials applied to it. So just like light is affected by medium applied to it. Okay, light has a slower speed in dense medium, light has a higher speed in the rarer medium, it has a maximum speed in vacuum. So just like that, electron will also have the effects when the potentials applied to electron are changed. Okay, like if electron is accelerated by a positive potential of 10 volts, it will have some velocity. If it is accelerated by a positive potential of 100 volts, it will have some different value of velocity, maybe increased. Okay, so in this way, so these all things are analogous to each other, so that's why it's called electron optics. So now we are going to see the thing that's called Bethes law. Okay, Bethes law or Bethes law, it's a very easy but very important concept. Okay, now what is it? Suppose this diagram is just in analogous with the diagram of light. Now if I take the annotation again, so this diagram I will draw simply जैसे light के लिए हम draw करते हैं ना, I need to take this straight line. Yes, so this is a media, this is suppose incident light, ray of light, this is the normal. Okay, so if it's a rarer media and it's a denser medium, so what will happen to this ray of light? What will happen to this ray when the light is moving from rarer to denser medium? This ray will be, if I draw more properly, when the light travels from rarer media to denser media, then the light bends towards the normal. Yes, it comes close to the normal. Okay, So this light was affected by the media. Same thing will happen to the electron if the electron is subjected to two different potentials, like this is V1 and V2. So it's a low potential, it's a high potential, and then electron wave is allowed to fall onto the boundary between the two potentials, like this is the boundary between the two media. So it's called interface between two media. So it's interface between two potentials. So V1 का influence जहाँ पे V2 के influence से शुरू हो रहा है, मतलब V1 का खत्म हो रहा है और V2 का शुरू हो रहा है. So that can be a equipotential level. This is called equipotential, where the two potentials are having, I can say, the midpoint of their influences. So this is equipotential. So it's just like the boundary between two potential. It's just like the interface between two media. So what will happen at this point, if I consider a normal to this equipotential layer, and the electron was having some angle theta 1 of incidence, then at this point the angle theta 2 of refraction will be lowered. Okay, this theta 2 will be always, I can say, less than theta 1, or theta 1 is greater than theta 2. That means the electron will bend towards the normal. Now just excuse me for 2 minutes. Okay, no, let it be. So this theta 1 will be more, theta 2 will be less. So this will be always, I can say, bend towards the normal. This is the same situation which happened with the light. When it crosses the two uh, media, it comes from rarer medium, goes into denser medium, then that at the interface between the two media, the light bends. Do you get it everyone? समझ में आया है ये? So ये analogy है to light of that of electron wave. So we call it electron optics. Okay. So what is happening here, when the electron wave is focused or incident on the interface between the two potentials, we call it equipotential level, where V1 is low potential, V2 is high potential. So this electron is allowed to move from a low potential to high potential. Then what will happen at this interface, the electron wave will have a bend, and this bend is change in its path. ओरिजिनल वेव जो जा रही थी, अगर ओरिजिनल वेव के ऊपर हमने सपोज ये लाइन बनाई, तो ओरिजिनल वेव ऐसे जानी थी, है ना? But what happened, because of this potential from low to high, the wave will get a bend. So this incident angle will have a change in the refraction angle, and refraction angle is lowered than the incidence angle. So this is just like the in refraction of light case, where the light is transversing from rarer to denser media. So this is Bethes law. Okay. Now Bethes is the one who has also given the mathematics behind it. जैसे लाइट के लिए एक लॉ दिया गया था, लाइट रिफ्रैक्शन के लिए. कौन सा लॉ होता है, याद है आप लोग को? विच लॉ गवर्न्स द रिफ्रैक्शन ऑफ लाइट? Yes. Which law governs the refraction of light? Incidence angle, refraction angle, the relation between the two. I equal to R नहीं, ओम. I is incident angle, R is refraction angle. Is this I equal to R here? ये है आपका I सपोज, और ये है आपका R, रिफ्रैक्शन एंगल. ये सेम है क्या? हाँ, रिफ्लेक्शन सेम होता है. हाँ, तो वो रिफ्लेक्शन को हम आर नहीं बोलते, रिफ्लेक्शन को आई ही बोलते हैं, है ना? ये जो यहाँ पे हम रिफ्लेक्शन दिखाएंगे ना, ये सेम आएगा, ये भी आई ही रहेगा. अच्छा, कौन सा लॉ गवर्न करते हैं बताओ? लाइट के लिए कौन सा लॉ होता है? स्नेल्स लॉ. वेरी गुड देवश्री. सो इट्स कॉल्ड स्नेल्स लॉ. एंड व्हाट्स द लॉ मैथमेटिकली? क्या होता है लॉ? व्हाट इज स्नेल्स लॉ? Yes, anyone? What is Snell's law? Mathematically, Snell's law याद है किसी को? Yes, very good. Sin I by sin R equal to what, Arjun? Sin I by sin R equal to constant. कौन सा constant? Refractive index, very good. Refractive index of the material. Sin I by sin R is refractive index of the material, that is mu. So same law will happen over here. जैसे Snell's law था वैसे ही यहाँ पे ये होने वाला है. Okay, so that we are going to see simple mathematics of this Betz equation. Okay, so now let me clear the annotation. Okay, so now what is happening here? This velocity component V1 is incident component, theta 1 is the incident angle, V2 is the refracted component, means final component, theta 2 is the refracted angle. Okay, now this V1 is having some angle here of incidence, so it is resolved into two components. Okay, Vx1 Vy1, right, ये जिसको Vx और Vy बोलेंगे. Here Vx1 is written as V1 sin theta 1, Vy1 is written as V1 sin cos theta 1. Okay, let me take the annotation. Vy1 का इक्वेशन क्या होगा? यहाँ पे हम चाहो तो Vy1 Vx1 ऐसे लगा सकते हैं. Let us take black color. Yes, so I can call it Vx1 and Vy1. ठीक है, so Vy1 बन जाएगा अगेन V1 cos theta 1. ठीक है, now theta I need to draw. So if I put this here, so this will be V1 cos theta 1. Okay, now now these final components, V2 is again resolved into two components, Vx2, here they are calling it as Vx dash, we can call it Vx2, and Vy2. Okay, Vx2 is V2 sin theta 2 and Vy2 क्या आएगा बताओ जल्दी, what will be Vy2? V2 cos theta 2, right? Yes, got it everyone? Now what we are going to see is, हाँ, तो ये हो गए इनकी इक्वेशंस. अब इसको एनालॉजी लगाते हैं स्नेल्स लॉ जैसी. तो कैसे? एक चीज यहाँ पे ध्यान दो, दिस V1 is having the bend and it is becoming V2. So V1 is getting bent towards Y component because force is in Y direction, because this is the low potential to high potential, so this is the direction of your electric field. ठीक है, लो पोटेंशियल को निगेटिव बोलेंगे, हाई को पॉजिटिव बोलेंगे, तो जनरली ये इस तरह से डायरेक्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड होता है. ओके, so what will happen, force is in this direction, so this component y component is getting affected. At the time x component is remaining same, x component is having no change because it is not acted upon any force in this direction. Okay, since your electric field is in this direction, V1 is suppose low potential and V2 is suppose high potential. So what will happen, from I can say positive to negative, the lines of electric field are originated, so electric field may be from V2 to V1. So this vertical is the electric field, so vertical component of velocity will get affected. So this Vy component is going to mainly get changed to Vy2. So this component is going to get increased and hence this is going to shift towards Y component. Now what will happen to X component? There is no force in the X direction. So Vx1 will sim as Vx2. The X component will be same as the incident and reflected. So if I use capital V's, Vx1 will be same as Vx2. Now Vx1 actually क्या होता है? Vx1 is V1 sin theta 1, that's equal to V2 sin theta 2. Okay, now I need to put the theta like this. Okay, V1 sin theta 1 is equal to V2 sin theta 2. Okay, Now what can I do? I can bring these terms v1 upon v2, that's equal to sin theta 2 by sin theta 1, or I can make it reverse, sin theta 1 upon sin theta 2, that's equal to, अब ये उल्टा होगा, ये थीटा हमने इधर लिया तो ये v1 इधर आएगा, so that's equal to v2 by v1. ओके, इसके बीच में आप रेशियो, ओके, और ये थीटाज है, हाँ, याद रखो. So sin theta 1 by sin theta 2 equal to v2 by v1. This is incident angle theta 1. This is refracted angle theta 2. It's like a refraction, हाँ, light refraction जैसे होता है. So this sin I by sin R जैसा equation हो गया ये. That's equal to v2 by v1. आप लोगों को पता है Snell's law, sin I by sin R is equal to also velocity of light in medium 1 to velocity of light in medium 2. ये पता है क्या आप लोगों को? Snell's law sin I upon sin R ये एक्चुअली होता है इज इक्वल टू velocity of light in two media, that's v1 by v2. Do you know this fact? Snell's law actually ऐसे होता था, and that's equal to फिर refractive index वगैरह आता है. Yes, you people know this. Sin I by sin R is actually v1 by v2, velocity of light in two media. So ये वैसे ही हो गया, sin theta 1 by sin theta 2 is v2 by v1. The only thing is the velocity ratio is reversed. In case of light, the velocity ratio is first velocity to second velocity. In case of electron, the velocity ratio is second velocity to first velocity. But it is almost analogous to the Snell's law, and that's why this is called electron optics. Okay, just like light, the electron is also behaving, and we are getting bending of electron beam, that's electron refraction isko kehte hain. So that's the case where we can get the analogous equation to the Snell's law, that is incident angle to the reflected angle sine ratio is the ratio of the velocities of the two media. Is it understood everyone? समझ में आया सबको? Yes, please respond immediately, we are running out of time. Yes, so इसी के concept के ऊपर based होता है फिर ये electron lens concept that we are going to see in the next lecture. So इसके बाद ज़्यादा टॉपिक नहीं बचते हैं. वी विल बी जस्ट हैविंग द डिवाइसेस बेस्ड अपॉन दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन रिफ्रैक्शन कंसेप्ट या इलेक्ट्रॉन लेंस कंसेप्ट, और सभी डिवाइसेस ऑलमोस्ट इसी कंसेप्ट के ऊपर बेस्ड है, जैसे CRT, CRO, फिर इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप एक्सेट्रा. ओके, so almost in the next lecture we can finish up the syllabus completely, right?